in that line. Longboat Key, yes. You guys are on tornado watch until 9 o'clock. Same for Hernando County. There's a tornado watch until 9 o'clock.
Oh man.
Flagler County, yep. I think Bruce and Flagler, I think you are right. It's 2:30 right now, so about 2 hours away. Let me get to the Jacksonville radar. And there you go. I mean, there is a severe thunderstorm warning, about a county and a half, just East Putnam County. There's a thunderstorm warning in place. We're under the tornado watch, and again, we're going to be watching this line of storms. It's a hodgepodge. It's really not a very well organized line, like northwest of Ocala, towards Lakeside, towards Stark, toward Gainesville. With that said, there's so much strong wind, a couple thousand feet above the surface. All you need is a very strong thunderstorm downdraft, and that mixes it down. So again, the storms itself don't need to be that intense to kind of bring down all of that strong wind to the surface. Okay, so really good question here about what to do in a tornado. I'm going to bring that comment over. Let me find it again. You guys are commenting so much. I appreciate the comments. Thank you guys for being with us. All right, here it is. By the way, they said to get into an interior bathroom, but I live in an apartment on the second floor, so is that safe? If you can, if there's a tornado warning issued for your area, the best kind of thing to actually probably leave your room and get out to the stairway and get under the stairs of the lowest level of the apartment. If you are in the second level, though, just getting in an interior room, covering your head, hanging out in the bathtub. I know it's weird, but the main goal, what you're trying to do is put as many walls as possible between you and the outside, and then to cover. So the bathroom in the second floor, if that's the safest place in your place, that is going to be your best bet. Getting under the though, those are typically the strongest reinforced areas of those apartments because you got people going up the stairs. You need to have it hold on the first floor too. So that will also work. Wait. I'm doing well, Anthony. Thank you for being with us, my friend. Yeah, no reason to evacuate Longboat unless you're in a mobile home, unless officials are telling you to do that, or if there's a tornado warning that pops up in your area. That's the only time I would tell you to evacuate something like this. You don't want to try to like outrun a tornado. This isn't like a hurricane where you have days to prepare for something coming through. They just kind of pop. I mean, we've been telling you about the system for days, but tornadoes are so finicky; they're impossible to predict where they kind of where they touch down. So that's why you really can't evacuate from a tornado. And I don't care what anybody tells you. I know some people say get on the road, not run it. Don't do that. That makes it way, way worse, especially when there's a lot of heavy rain around. Don't do that. Hey, what's going on southeast Ocala?
What's poppin', booty hoppin'? What's happening? How's everybody doing? Check it out. It's bulking season. It's time to make those gains. You've already got gains. Maybe you got to make more gains. You got to hit up axandsledge.com. Hit up the link in the description box. Get you some pre-workout. We got stem free. We got the usual stimulant type pre workout. The stuff that gets you amped. Got hydraulic, ignition switch, pumpies, seventh gear, all kinds of good stuff. So I understand. You get off work, you're tired. You wake up, you're tired. That's why you need a little help from your friends at Axe and Sledge. Get you nice and juiced up and amped up and ready to rock and roll and FSU. Fuck shit up. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, a little bit extreme. I got it. But you're an extreme person. Get that extreme workout in. And these aren't steroids, man. It's just a stimulant. Get you ready, get you primed, get get the fluids and the juices going into your muscles. So let's get it cracking, you know what I'm saying? Get a good workout in. Let Axe and Sledge help you out. Hit up the link in the description box. There's some flavorful stuff here. I like the icy. Tastes really, really good. So I got me some. Go get you some, all right? Also, websites got shirts, protein, all kinds of good stuff. Stuff for sleep. I don't use that, but I will. I'm not against it. I probably will start using it soon. But sometimes I stay up late at night making these little videos for you, getting you motivated. What else do they got? They got all kinds of good stuff. So be sure to check them out, and I'll talk to y'all later.
Not conducive to having basements in Florida. That's why it's almost like do the best you can um, in the deep south, and that includes Florida.
Y'all hear the thunder? Do you hear the thunder? Yeah.
All right, so we're checking in on Micanopy, McIntosh, Reddick, Ocala. We're in a severe thunderstorm warning. It's really hard to kind of estimate the wind at this point just because we're so far away from any kind of radar. It's really hard to get a ground truth there. Um, all that stuff. Okay, so let me know if that audio keeps on that stuff. Maybe because I keep on smashing the microphone. One of those like, hey, keep me posted on the audio. I'm gonna try not to move that microphone. Yeah, I think the cord is screwed up. Hey, Brandy. All right, good question. She says, I don't have any interior walls on my place, even if authorities do not say to evacuate from mobile. Should I? Is that being? Let me see. It cut off her thing. Let me find being that it would be to. Okay, so yeah, if you are in a mobile home, um, yes. If the tornado warning is issued for where you are, the best advice is to leave mobile homes. A weak tornado can do significant damage and destroy a mobile home, Brandy. So if I don't know if in the mobile home area if they have a built-in shelter, I hope that they do. If they don't, um, if you know of any place that you can go, but I don't want you kind of outrunning it either. So it's kind of like that catch 22. All right, we did just have a new tornado warning issue. This is going to be the Gainesville area. Now, this is going to be in Alachua County.
There's tornado issues for Gainesville. For Gainesville. Oh, wow. There's tornadoes in Gainesville. Yeah. It's not bad here. It's just steady raining.
County, new tornado warning just popped up, hot off the press. So if anybody's watching from Newberry, in Alachua and into tornado warning until 3:15. So let's in this thing and let's break it down. Again, really kind of difficult to tell what is going on in here because Alachua, Marion County. We're just in this zone where extra radar. What's going on here and what they're likely highlighting is this dropout right in here from yeah, it would be right in there. So let's okay. So all right, it's thunderstorm capable and tornado located 10 miles southwest of Jekyll Island, and then just east of Woodbine, and moving northeast at 55 miles an hour. Okay, so this is the other thing that we were talking about today. Like, don't go out and try to find because they are just moving so fast. So just keep that in mind as well. I mean, this is just a big
I think we're
mess.
safe.
I think we're looking right in here. It's going to be just south of Newberry. Look at all the strong winds. All right, so people, okay. Palm Bay, your threat is going to be coming up in a couple of hours, so we'll get into you. Sorry, I'm not even showing you the. My bad. Next time I don't have the radar map on, just somebody yell at me in the chat. Forgot to switch the sources. There we go. That's what I'm trying to show you. All right, so here's the deal. This is going to be southwest of Gainesville. Gainesville, we are officially included in this tornado warning that is showing through. It's really hard to determine because it's the worst possible spot to kind of dissect where the thing is at this
They're
time.
focused on Gainesville
just because
right
we're
now.
so far away
Gainesville's
from all of the good radar data.
Is the major parts of the intense part of the storm. Oops. It's mainly Gainesville right now that's getting abused by the storm. Gainesville, Newberry, Hawthorne, and Tampa. Live severe weather tracking, damaging wind, tornadoes possible in Florida. I'm streaming. Do you have enough water, Mom?
Okay, so we're just watching this cell here, so I was just reading some things.
In case of a major storm.
That's right. So your thunderstorm also goes until Gainesville at 3:45. So the storm that we're most concerned with here is going to be
focused
the tornadic
on
threat. So
Alachua
that's what
and
we're going to track.
Gainesville.
Again, there's nasty stuff with this. Let me get back to the
storm.
Jacksonville radar. So now what we have going on,
Oh, wow.
this tornadic thunderstorm, it's going to be Newberry. So that's right where we were talking about. There is where
no, outside it's
the
raining pretty
rotation
hard.
is right in here. It's not that strong, but it's rotation nonetheless.
This
thing is moving northeast at 80 miles an hour. 80 miles an hour. Not a typo. Storm is flying. So don't go out and try to. Again, right now we're looking at this storm to potentially be close to the University of Florida pretty much right now.
Time to hunker down.
And in addition to that, we also have potential for 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts embedded in this thing. All right, so let me just This warning goes until 3:15, by the way. So we're under that for the next 30 minutes. And the Weather Service also noting that it's broad. So that's what we've been talking about here, that it's not that impressive. It's not that impressive in terms of a rotation standpoint. But with the environment being so good for tornadoes, they issued that warning as it approaches Gainesville. Again, you don't want to have certainly a tornado anywhere, but approaching. Look at that, 87 miles an hour. Here's the deal with this. We'll caution that again, that this is going to be several thousand feet up in the sky. So a lot of what is happening here, I'm going to do a quick little check here to see exactly how far. So we're about 4,000 to 5,000 feet. The beam right now is 4,000 to 5,000 feet.
Did you get off work today?
Around Gainesville from the Jacksonville
tornado
radar.
watch
So 4,000 feet up, we have winds of about 80 to 90 miles an hour.
Florida,
not all of that is being brought down to the surface, but some of that is. So we're probably talking about winds at about 70, maybe 75 miles an hour, rolling through parts of Alachua County right now. So again, this is pretty crazy stuff. And all this is just a, very, very powerful cluster of storms. Nothing's too terribly organized here, but the thing is that there's just so much wind energy, a couple thousand feet above the surface. It does not take much as well. Yeah, Paula, you are correct. Yeah, strong winds do not have to rotate to be dangerous, especially on a day like today. Nick, if you let me know what you are seeing, if you are in a safe spot in Gainesville. Again, don't go to the window or anything like that. If you can hear stuff or whatever, just I don't want you to go. I don't want you to go look. But if you just happen to see what's going on, let me know if you're seeing some of these winds.
Tonight, they're very tough players, those guys.
I think most of it will clear. I think that what's not going to happen is people aren't going to be hanging outside in Thunder Alley for hours leading up to it.
But it would be the place to be in Thunder. In Thunder Alleys, we want to be now. Seriously though, yeah, it's open. It's open to the air, so you do not want to be outside.
But I think it'll sweep through in time for the game. Is puck drop 7:05 as normal?
It'll be gone.
So. Okay, so it'll be gone by puck drop. I do think that it might exacerbate the traffic because people might not leave.
What the heck is puck drop?
No one working at home today. Hey bro, no I'm working at home today. Are you guys safe from the storm?
Oh, I forgot my work phone. It's my viewers.
Leave until closer to time.
That is a problem.
Yeah.
So we picked up triple digit vote count.
Oh.
And I'll just say that that this is what won out in the end here, Jeff. The wall with the Yes, sir.
I like it.
All right.
All right. So
Okay,
that
we're gonna
is
do that.
that is
All right,
what we
Rebecca,
got.
Rebecca's going to be on the controls, and that's because I can't walk.
Jeff Baradelli to the wall.
I'm to admit my deficiencies. Those deficiencies, I'm not good at doing more than like one or two things at a time. So let's begin by where the line of storms is right now. So there it is. It's a solid line of storm arrows. So when you get heavy rain, it's gonna move in real quickly, almost like a slap in the face. But in 40 minutes or so, the heavy will be done. And then about an hour, all the rain's going to be done. So the window of rain in any one location is going to be about 2 hours or so. We're already starting to see some heavy downpours move through Citrus County right now. But the line of severe weather is just about, now 5-10 minutes off the coast. That extends southwest. You get all the lightning strikes as this moves to the east. And this line has kinks in it, meaning that there are individual cells that are strong embedded in this straight line of storms. And each one of them has the possibility of producing a tornado. We may see some tornado warnings.
Oh, we got a
this
viewer.
afternoon. All right, let's go to the next graphic and show you what we got. And what we're going to be talking about is exactly where that line of rain is going to be moving over the next 24 hours or so. And again, most of the heaviest rain is going to be ending here by around 7 p.m., 8 p.m. across our south and east counties. So Storm Prediction Center in Oklahoma, they do this kind of forecasting for everybody. Says that there's an enhanced risk, a 3 out of 5 for northern parts of the Bay Area from Newport Richey northward, and then a 2 out of 5 from Tampa Bay southward, so that the highest risk is a little bit further to the north. And the highest risk of severe weather today is right there, gusty winds because of a strong jet stream aloft. All right, I want to take you hour by hour through the forecast over the next couple of hours. All right, first things first, weather headlines. The line of storms is arriving right now. It's going to move quickly from northwest to southeast. We're going to see blinding rain. We're going to see vivid lightning. Bursts of wind is, I think, the best way to describe what we're going to see, and the possibility of a few tornadoes. And remember, as the line moves in over the next couple of hours, we're going to see dangerous marine conditions, coastal flooding around 2 to 4 feet. All right, let's go to the next graphic and show you what we have there. And this is the hour by hour. Let's time it out for you hour by hour as we move through. You can see the line moving into the coast of Citrus County and Hernando County. That's basically almost about now. Let's go forward now and show you when it's going to be getting close to the Clearwater area. There we are, Clearwater, Newport Richey, around 3:15, 3:30, crossing over the Courtney Campbell Causeway into Tampa at 4 p.m., moving through Wesley Chapel and also into Zephyr Hills at around 4 p.m. right part of downtown St. Pete, crossing over the Sunshine Skyway and into Bradenton around 4:30. And the worst of it in Bradenton will be about 4:30, moving into downtown Sarasota at around that time. And same thing in Lakeland, 4:30, 5 o'clock is when's the worst for you. Same thing in Plant City and Waimama. And then the system continues to move east, so it's over the heart of Polk County around 5:30, 6 o'clock, right Hardy County, DeSoto down towards Northport at around 5:36. And notice by 6:30, it's already moving into Highlands County. You will be under the gun with the worst of it. And notice this line. Notice how it has a kink there. It has a
Melbourne, Orlando,
kink there.
February.
The point is within this line, there'll be individual storms that are going to be trying to rotate. Everything has cleared our area basically entirely by 8 o'clock tonight, so it's a short window. All right, so now let's get into the science. These are the ingredients you need for severe weather. You need moisture. We always have enough around here. So there's plenty of moisture, although it's not a ton of moisture, to be honest with you. Heat energy, we lack that. It was cool yesterday. We've seen some return flow today. It's warmed up. There's more humidity. So that creates the instability. But we're not talking temperatures in the 80s, right? Without temperatures in the 80s, we don't have a tremendous amount of lift in the atmosphere. But what we do have is a really unusually strong low-level jet stream for this far south in the U.S. And we also have a lot of wind shear. Wind shear just simply meaning at the surface we have southerly winds, but aloft we have southwesterly winds, and because of that, it imparts a spin to those thunderstorms. So the greatest risk is going to be bursts of wind. And I want to show you why. So let's go to the next graphic and first of all talk about the winds we have already. And those winds are sustained at around 25 miles an hour, but they're gusting already to around 45, 50 miles an hour. Here are the ingredients. The storm fuel, low to medium category. Remember, the heat just not there. So that is lacking, and that is going to limit our ability to get a lot of big thunderstorms today. But what we do have making up for it, and big time, is the fact that this deep shade of red right here, well, that's medium to high amount of wind and spin in the atmosphere. Now, if the storm fuel was just as high, we would really be in trouble. So this is going to limit the amount of tornadoes we see during the day today. Now let's talk about what's happening aloft right now. And these are the winds at the low-level jet stream. And when you see the purples, well, that's 80-mile-an-hour winds just off the ground. And anytime you get a thunderstorm that's strong enough, it can pull that wind down to the ground. So we had a wind gust of 105 miles outside of a tornado in the earlier around Fort Walton. So you can see that you don't need a tornado to give you those wind gusts. And every once in a while, we could 70 miles an hour here outside of any tornadoes. But notice the jet stream is lifting and moving out by 7, 8 o'clock tonight, and the threat is lessening by then. So that's a little bit of the science behind it. Going to the next graphic, we'll show you what the largest threats are today. And it's wind, first and foremost, because that whole line has strong to severe thunderstorm wind gusts. But embedded in that line, in a few places at least, so there's a moderate risk for tornadoes. The hail risk is very low. We might see a teeny bit of, dime-sized hail or less, but it's doubtful. And not much rain flooding because we're only going to get an inch and a half. It's going to move really fast through the area. But we will see significant coastal flooding that I would say will be similar to the coastal flooding
because these things can quickly produce tornadoes, and we're starting to get some higher reflectivities up in here as well. Let's see, where did they... So the new warrant hit the computer just yet. They just issued it, so it takes a second. Yeah, Paul, coming into MCO tomorrow is much, much better. Hey, what is going on in Tavares? Thanks for being on the live stream. For you, it's going to be more like 4... let's take a close look again in this red color here. Let's go to the Melbourne radar, and we're kind of nice and quiet. It's a little windy, of course, and all that stuff. So yeah, check in if you're in Tavares or Umatilla, Mount Dora, Leesburg, Fruitland Park, and Lake County, Asatula. What's up, guys? All right, our tornado watch goes until clock tonight. So that line of thunderstorms still a couple hours away for us in Tavares. Okay, so thank you for this report. So this is helpful. She says, my daughter is at UF. She commutes. They won't let her leave. Oh, you won't let her leave. That's a good idea. We're in across creek. She said the rain and wind is bad. So let's get back up. Let's check in on the University of Florida. Just a lot of heavy rain, a lot of wind. Still, it looks like that. Sorry, wrong county. It was in Ocala. Just nasty, nasty weather right now. Check this out. 12,000 feet. Look at this. Northeast at 97 miles an hour. Now, there's a lot of stuff going on here. It probably isn't going to 97 miles an hour, but it's being clocked at about 80 miles an hour, that cell. So it's pretty nasty. And again, that tornado warning is going to continue until 3:15 for Gainesville. Let's check up on this. Crazy strong wind here. Especially on the east side of Gainesville, closer to Rochelle, Mountain Manor, Windsor, right around downtown Gainesville, 65, 64 mile per hour wind gust. You might see the negative pop up. What the negative is, when you're in the green color, that means that the wind's blowing toward the radar, so that's negative. In the red, it's going away from the radar. That's how we can tell if the storm is rotating or not. If we have the reds and greens butted up close to each other. So we've got, look at that, 93 outbound or 93 inbound. Again, probably not 93 miles an hour right there. The beam is shooting about 4,000 feet up into the sky. Nonetheless, it's at least 60 miles an hour getting to the ground. So some damaging wind potential there in Alachua County. So let's get back to the. Okay, so we're looking at the out of Jacksonville, the Gainesville radar. Nasty line of thunderstorms continues for us there. Okay, so Serena brings up a really, really good point. She says Orlando is in a tornado watch, and it's not even raining here. That is true. So the deal with a tornado watch is that we are watching the potential for nasty weather. A watch means that conditions are favorable. So they issue these watches hours in advance to make sure that everybody knows that, hey, we've got a chance for some really nasty weather. All of the nasty weather right now is right here. So that's going to be coming through Orlando in 2 or 3 hours. So by 6 o'clock, it will be raining, and it might be doing a little bit more than that too. So just keep that in mind that it's important to difference. I know there's a lot of stuff out there. It's kind of confusing, but watch means we're just watching. The conditions are favorable. A warning, like what we have county, that is when you take action, your severe weather plan. Or in Marion County, where we have this severe thunderstorm warning until 4 o'clock now. So this is going to be in Ocala. This includes Ocala. This includes Denellen. This includes View with this really nasty stuff. Homosassa Springs, Crystal River. We're taking it on the chin right now. I don't know if in a warning, but it's not heavy. The winds are gusty. Gabriella, we are showing it here. The active tornado warning. I have no confirmation that there is an active tornado. But we've been talking about it right here for a while. Yeah, okay. So I know a lot of people are talking about a tornado. There's no tornado. We don't have a tornado warning in Spring Hill. And Gainesville right now, there's no confirmation of a tornado either.
Man, my computer's slow.
Yep, thunderstorm in Orlando tonight, probably in the next 3 hours. That's when it's going to be in Orlando. It's going to be that's when it's going to be in the Orlando metro area, somewhere probably around 5 or 6 o'clock. So we're at 3 o'clock now, so somewhere into that 5 to 6 o'clock time frame. And if you guys are watching from the Central Florida area, Orlando into Ocala, into Flagler Beach, into Mico, into Melbourne, into Lakeland, into Kissimmee, St. Cloud, Apopka, into Oviedo. We're also, meteorologist Julie Broughton is here, and meteorologist America Kinos are actually on News 6 right now. They are also tracking this storm too, so you can pull up both screens and kind of watch different kind of perspective here if you are in the Central Florida area as well. All right, Micanopy, Florida, is there a tornado warning for here? I believe that tornado warning is just north of you, and that has now been canceled. So again, and further proof there that in the chat that we're talking about on the ground in Gainesville actually happening. So let's be careful about that, okay? Because that's some serious stuff. So severe thunderstorm warning now for a very nasty line of thunderstorms. And if you remember, we were talking about this cluster of thunderstorm. Now up here, Brunswick, Georgia, you see that purple there? That's where a tornado has been confirmed. If that red turns to purple anytime these the ones that turn purple, that's whenever they're earned. So that's up in Georgia, right around Brunswick. So that's a good question. Ben asked if it's going to be dangerous to go to the gym and stick to a normal at 5 in Orlando. I would be careful. I'd be careful just because the rain will be at the very least. The wind is going to be crazy at the very least. And then there's the ability to turn a little severe too. So if you're going out at that time, that's right whenever that line is going to be really, really close to the Orlando area, that 5, 6 o'clock as well. Simone is watching in Dunellen. Thank you for watching. Thank you for that report that it's getting pretty bad. Thanks, Paul. Appreciate you. For sure, Tyler. In Tampa, we're going to go to the main threat here is going to be straight line damaging winds, but there's also a tornado threat. We just got recent weather balloon data from a special afternoon launch. And to say the least, it wasn't pretty. Again, the atmosphere is conducive to supporting the development of tornadoes, especially if these cells start to pop on their own outside of this main kind of line. You can still get tornadoes within that. We call this a QLSI linear convective system coming through. You can still get tornadoes, but the more pronounced ones are whenever those supercell thunderstorms are by them. All right, Askenville. We're going to be watching this for you. Under a severe thunderstorm warning. Let me turn on the Jacksonville radar. There's a lot of mess around. The worst of them is just off towards your west, closer to Baldwin. We're taking it on the chin now if you're watching from the Baldwin area. And this is exactly what we're kind of looking for here. See these green little stripes? Now we're closer to the radar, so we can have more confidence in the radar estimates here. So you can expect, again, coming into Jacksonville, winds on the order of 50 to 70 miles an hour over the next, let's time that out for you. These are moving pretty. So let me see if I can find less than 20 minutes, I would say. I would say even faster than what it is. So, again, some strong winds coming up into Jacksonville in about 15 to 20 minutes. Callahan in about 20 to 25 minutes as well. I do not believe there is a tornado in St. Augustine. That line is too far back. Let's just check because we're kind of bouncing all over the state. No. St. Augustine's in some light rain at the very least right now. All right, question about Vero Beach. Obviously, we're quiet now. It's going to be 7 to 9, so we have a long time. That line should be weakening a little bit coming in, but we're still in that level 2 out of 5 on the severe weather scale. Still going to be the potential for some very strong winds in Vero Beach, although that's a little bit lower for us. Yeah, so no, that would have been up in the Panhandle. It was really, really ugly. There were at least 3 tornado warnings at once with those storms, where the main strong tornado threat was going to be with this event. And there's still the potential for more through the Florida Peninsula as we go forward to the afternoon and evening. I guess we're closing on the evening.
Ike, Turner. Ike.
If anybody's tuned in from Marion County, hit the thumbs up button, post in the comments to let me know what you are seeing as we're watching the strong storms. And again, don't go looking for anything, but just want to know like what you're hearing or anything like that. Again, I don't want you to go look for whatever. It's nasty out there in Ocala into Denellen. Let me change the radar. It's just so hard in Marion County. I want a radar. I mean, they're very expensive. I want one right there from the National Weather Service, from the government, but I don't know if that's ever going to happen. All right, so Titan asked again, can we talk about the area with the tornadoes? At least I'm happy to report right now we don't have any tornado warnings. This big red blotch of red on your screen, though, that is a tornado watch. So anybody in that area, this goes until 9 o'clock, that's going to be the threat for tornado till 9 o'clock. Again, that watch means that conditions are favorable for the development of tornadoes. So just keep that in mind.
Huh?
All right, Denellen, we have the worst of the weather now for you happening as we speak. So we're going to be watching that closely. Lightning strikes all around you. Red indicates the heavy rain. So it's all there. Let's just check to see if we can see. Yeah, we're in the purple haze. I mean, we're way away from the Tampa radar. Estimating 60 to 75 mile per hour winds there. I would think it's a little. So just keep that in mind. There's still some strong winds here. Thunderstorm warning continues. Same for us in Sarasota County. We are watching that line of thunderstorms. Here's the line up. Okay, so kind of breaking news here. Tornado warning issued for Marion County. This is going to be until 3:45. Tornado warning issued for Marion County. So anybody listening in the newsroom, heads up. Tornado for Marion County if you want to pass that off the press. So we were just about to say we're watching some rotation in and around the Fellowship area, really starting to go. It's really hard to see at this point, but the main deal here is that we now have it's going to come up on the map momentarily, but a tornado warning in effect for Marion until 3:45. Kind of see that. If you're watching from the Central Florida area, it's going to be just to the northwest of Ocala. That should pop up any minute onto the screen so that I can show you exactly. Just making sure.
It's a serious act. I can work from
I
here.
don't know why the tornado warning actually isn't populating. This is going to be around Fellowship. It's moving at about. So the towns include Lowell, McIntosh, Reddick, and into Flemington. Let's see if the other one is picking it up. There it is. It's finally on the map. It just took a second to again, Reddick, you are included in this. This is just to the north of Ocala. You see that blinking red here. Let me turn to another thing. The rotation's very hard to find and to pick out. It's right in here, just to the west, the southwest of Reddick. So again, if you're watching in Reddick or McIntosh, get into your self place. Again, Denellen, we are not included in this tornado warning. Here we go. This is a different kind of product here that kind of removes all of the noise. And this is kind of what we are seeing. So Fellowship, the worst of the weather is just to you. Amathia, again, you want to be in your safe place due to the fact that we are under this tornado warning until 3:45 for Marion County. Again, Reddick, that includes you. McIntosh, that includes you. So now these are starting to get into a favorable environment now for tornadoes. So that is why they went ahead and did it, even though, again, we can't really see that well into this storm. But believe me, crossing I-75, this is just to the west of I-75. So there it is right there. So anybody, again, let's get down to street level. So Northwest 100th Street, Northwest 110th Street. And again, for reference, what I'm zooming in now on is in Marion County. This is northwest of Ocala. So if you're in Ocala, you were not included in this tornado warning. If you are in Reddick, you are. Cara, Fairfield, Millwood is included in this tornado warning in Marion County. So if you're living or watching from Northwest 110th Avenue, Northwest 110th Street, you want to make sure that you are getting into your safe place right now. A little bit of an early heads up here. Zooming back in a little bit closer, Northwest 104th Avenue. Be a good idea to get into your safe place. 141st Court. And then closer to Flemington, you want to make sure that you are in your safe place. All right, so we are going to turn some things on again. Really weird spot here, but this is an ominous-looking cell southwest of Reddick. Reddick, we are in a tornado warning until 3:45. Ocala, we are in that warning. We are not in that warning. We're going to go over some street level thing. Let me try to get back to see if we can find a spot this is. And again, it's just really, really hard to kind of illustrate because of where this is in proximity to proximity to where the storm actually is at this point. So there's kind of a timeline for you. 15 minutes to Reddick, McIntosh in about 17 minutes, Micanopy 17 minutes, Hawthorne in about 27 minutes as this storm kind of lifts off to the north and east. Let me pull that back a little bit. Yes, Tampa is in the watch. Somebody asked that in the chat. I think this is the best way to kind of illustrate here, and this rotation has weakened. So it's not, again, we're not in the clear with this by any means, but rotation weakening a little bit with this storm. Still tornado warning until 3:45, so another 20 minutes, so we're going to stay with you here, just focusing on the Ocala storm. And it's interesting to note that kind of in around Mac, we have, I think, a stronger. We're in the tornado warning here, but there's like another area of rotation that has developed. And it looks like we could have a little cell here in addition to the cell down here that is trying to kind of pull apart. So this is kind of the environment here. The forward speed of this is about 50 miles an hour and all that stuff. And the slabbening brings up a good point. We're going to turn our focus to that in a little bit. As we approach the Gulf Coast of Florida, I think we're going to have some issues in a little bit because we saw the different rotating cells on there. We saw the balloon launch data indicating that they're going to be moving into a very favorable environment for the potential for severe weather, including tornadoes. The National Weather Service predicts the shape just to give yourself a little wiggle room. They call them polygons, so that in case they want to make sure everybody is included if it moves one way versus the other way. So that's kind of how they draw, and they sometimes pay attention to county lines as well through that. So we're going to be focusing on those storms coming in on the Gulf side in just 1 second, really 20 minutes, because that's where our warning is. But that tornado warning is for us. This looks like a big mess. Jacksonville radar, see if we can see anything different. Tampa radar, go back to velocity mode. Yeah, so I mean, the good news is, relatively speaking, the rotation's trying to wind back out a little bit, okay? We're not in the clear with this just yet, but at least there's some positivity there when it comes to this rotation in and around Reddick. The worst of the storm now has kind of lifted up into Reddick. If anybody's watching from Marion County in this, let me know kind of what is going on around you. Please don't go out and look at this. If any tornado is there, it's going to be wrapped in rain. Not going to be able to see it, and starting to get a little dark outside too. I guess it's 3:30 in the afternoon, but it's going to be pretty hard to see anything. So don't go outside and looking for it.
No, I'm full. Oh, you have chicken? Yeah.
So the worst part of this storm now is going to be right around Reddit, west 144th place. That is what is going on. I know there's a lot of questions come chat about other areas. I will try to get those. Right now, I just want to focus to make sure that anybody watching from Marion County is up to speed on where this the most dangerous storm of so far to the afternoon from the Central Florida perspective is doing. We're going to get into all that stuff that's coming in. We've got multiple nasty cells working their way onto the Gulf Coast of Florida over the next couple of hours. So we're going to be watching that very, very closely. Right now, Reddick at McIntosh is getting really kind of ugly with this weather right now. Very, very weak rotation. I mean, it's very, very weak. And but the worst part of that is going to be right
I just said
here.
that dog.
Very heavy rain coming down about 2. Of course, that's one of the threats with these, but the main threat here, potential for, again, cautiously optimistic, though, that things are looking a little bit better. Again, stay in your, because we're still on a tornado warning for the next 20 minutes, a little bit less than 20 minutes. So just keep that in mind. And again, my apologies. I know there's a lot of questions coming in about other areas around Central Florida. I'm going to do my best to kind of bounce around after we clear this warning here to kind of talk about what is to come as well.
Oh, there's chicken?
Okay, so for Citra, we are just outside of that tornado. Okay, so we're not included in the tornado warning in Citra at this point. We do have some very heavy rain coming in. Let's see here. Try to bring up traffic and show you what's going on. All right, so what you're looking at above my head is I-75 at mile mark 357.7. If you're familiar with that, so kind of right smack dab, very, very heavy rain moving through Reddick right now. The worst part of the storm is right around Reddick. Again, Millwood. Make sure you're in a safe place. Again, get there now. Some street level, some streets, Northwest 10th Court in Reddick, North 10th Circle, Northwest 10 Circle as well. So a lot of circles. Keep that in mind. I want you to get into your, make sure you're in a safe place as we have this tornado warning again until 3:45. Citra, we are in this tornado. Just at the very end, it is raining very, very heavy. Most of the storm for Citra is just to your south and west. Okay, so right now it's just to the south and west. It's going to be working up in that direction. Let me get shear marker on. I'm going to be focused on this area. So again, if you are in the Citra area, some very strong winds coming your way. The potential for that tornado is also going to be there. Again, the rotation has broadened out a little bit, but still we're in kind of that environment here that as well. And yeah, I agree. I know there's a lot of stuff going on. Please, I know there's some crazy people out there in the YouTube world. We've got some dangerous weather going on. And I know someone mentioned about hooks over Riddick. It's not a situation per se that we would see a hook. Since it'd be called what we call a QLCS tornado, it really wouldn't be a hook with this, like you would see in the plains or a traditional supercell thunderstorm as well. So don't let your guard down just because you don't see a hook. But I do think we're looking decently okay at this point in the Reddick and Citra area, I should say. My apologies. Reddick, we're looking good now, as this thing is kind of pushing away from us into Citra. The heaviest weather is on top of us now. Let's get a shear look, shear track. I mean, there's no hail with that, but I mean, the rotation right now is right around Citra. It's very weak. It's not impressive. Still a tornado warning, though. I want to make sure that, okay, Paul is in Citra. Let's see what he has to say. Not much in Citra, lots of in country, but still homes there. Oh, I'm sorry. You just meant for a population. My bad. So if you're just
State of emergency.
Well, good afternoon. Early this morning, severe weather began impacting northwest Florida. It's currently moving across the state. I've been working with Kevin Guthrie, Executive Director of the Division of Emergency Management. We just the full briefing from his team during the storm and response efforts. Earlier today, I signed an executive order declaring a state of emergency for 49 counties to ensure, out of abundance of caution, we have the resources needed to help impacted counties and impacted Floridians. We know that there have been at least 4 tornadoes that have touched down in the Panhandle. There are currently 21 counties under a tornado watch and 2 counties under a tornado warning and an enhanced risk for severe thunderstorms across the state. All of North Florida remains under a tornado watch. There will be heavy winds and rain impacting the state throughout the balance of the day. 34 school districts are closed today, and the Department of Education is working with districts as they make school closure decisions for tomorrow. We know at least Jackson County will be closed tomorrow. Yesterday, I activated the Florida State Guard, which has more than 30 soldiers who will assist the Division of Emergency Management with damage assessments beginning today. In Bay County, technical rescue team is on scene, and we have the tactical rescue teams on the ground completing damage assessments in impacted areas. We have also deployed Florida Highway Patrol troopers to the Panhandle who are actively escorting critical equipment and personnel into impacted areas. FDOT crews have already cleared down trees on I-10 in Walton and Holmes counties, in addition to clearing roads in Okaloosa, Jackson, and Leon counties, and will continue clearing roads throughout the day. As of 12 o'clock, there were 87,000 without power, and utility crews are actively working to restore these accounts as the weather clears. The Department of Commerce has activated an image assessment survey to help assess the needs of impacted businesses. You can complete the survey by visiting floridadisaster.biz, floridadisaster.biz. And the Department of Commerce will be canvassing businesses in Northwest Florida beginning today. Please continue to monitor your local weather service for updates on when it is safe to go outside. You can visit floridadisaster.org or follow at FLSERT for more updates. And we'll hear now from the Director of the Division of Emergency Management, Kevin Guthrie.
Thank you, Governor. As always, thank you for your leadership and your support during this time. Every time we activate the COC, you're obviously right here with us. Currently, the State Emergency Operations Center is activated at level 1 with all of our response partners present today. We remain in close communication with all county emergency management offices to ensure we are addressing any unmet needs. A tornado watch remains in effect for most of North Florida at this time, from about the Suwannee River Valley all the way through to Jacksonville and St. Johns counties. The executive order the governor just spoke about includes the counties of Bay, Calhoun, Columbia, Dixie, Gadsden, Gilchrist, Gulf, Hamilton, Holmes, Jackson, Jefferson, Lafayette, Leon, Liberty, Madison, Suwannee, Taylor, Wakulla, Walton, and Washington counties. Additional severe weather watches will be likely issued as we move on through the afternoon hours. This risk for severe thunderstorms across the Florida Panhandle, Big Bend, Nature Coast, and through the Suwannee River Valley. These storms are going to be capable of producing widespread damaging winds up to 70 miles an hour, and tornadoes and large hail are possible. This line of storms will reach the west central coast of Florida this afternoon, just before becoming slightly weaker over the southern peninsula as we go through the night hours. I remind residents to heed all warnings from local officials. If you have a weather radio, now is the time to make sure the batteries are charged so that you can still receive important information if you're in the peninsula of Florida. As a reminder, a tornado watch means the conditions are favorable for a tornado. A tornado warning means that we actually have radar indicated circulation. And I think a lot of people don't understand that. So I want to make sure that people understand, if you're receiving a tornado warning, there are winds aloft that are circulating and coming into contact with the ground, so please seek shelter immediately. More than 20 tornado warnings have been issued across the Panhandle today. Residents need to remain vigilant and stay indoors. If a tornado warning is issued in your area, seek shelter immediately in an interior room away from doors. If it's necessary, cover and protect your head and body with blankets and/or pillows. Strong wind gusts may cause down power lines and trees, and these are a significant safety hazard. Please do not touch any wires that are down in trees. If you are under a warning, do not go outside right now. It is not safe to walk or drive. Please stay indoors in an interior room of your house or business. Right now, as the governor's mentioned, there's over 87,000 accounts without power, and our electrical providers are working diligently to restore the power as fast as they possibly can. For more information on school closures, road closures, and other vital updates, please make sure you visit floridadisaster.org/storminfo. And again, as the governor's already said, residents can also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and X at FLSERT at FLCERT. Again, Governor, thank you for your leadership and your support.
Okay. Well, I appreciate all the hard work that folks are really sprung into action. This is obviously going to impact the state throughout the day. Please heed the warnings. I know those guys are already on the ground helping with the damage assessments, and will have whatever help they need. Kevin's going to remain here for any questions on the events. Thanks.
Governor, what's the status of your campaign with it?
Director, do you have any information on injuries or fatalities or anything like that at this point?
Yeah, I spoke earlier today, and again, the question for those that may not have heard is, has there been any reported injuries? We've had a lot of minor injuries reported by the counties. Bay County did have 5 trauma alerts, one of those being a head injury, but at this point in time, we have no fatalities to report. There is some rumors out there, and again, right now, I have to say that they are rumors, but we've got FHP and some others working on this, perhaps a tree fell on a car. Again, we can't really verify that right now, but as soon as we can, we'll get that out to you.
In this area that has seen a lot of the damage so far kind of butts up against the Hurricane Idalia damage. I guess can kind of talk about kind of the coordination between the two, like in your guys' response.
Right, so the question is, a lot of this area that's going to be impacted and is being impacted right now as we speak is Hurricane Idalia area. As I look over here to our screen on the left. So we coordinate closely. Obviously, we have documented all the damage that is Hurricane Idalia. But what we will do now is we will start damage assessments on new damage. So it'll be very easy for our damage assessment teams to be able to see that. So if it's vegetation, there will be a lot of green leaves in that versus brown leaves from 4 or 5 ago. So that the vegetation issue and the damage to homes will be really easy for us to identify. So we're not expecting there to be any problem there, but you do have to separate. And I think the question is, how do you do that? How do you separate it? We'll work with the counties and go through and do those damage assessments and keep it as to what is from this particular storm system. And then we will be doing the necessary paperwork to see if we qualify for any potential FEMA assistance or other assistance. So that'll be ongoing over the next week or so.
How long do you think we're going to be in the dangerous window?
So meteorology, our meteorologists, we have 4 of them here on staff. Our chief meteorologists and deputy chief meteorologists say that we're going to be underneath the tornadic stuff probably through the early evening hours, 5, 6 o'clock by the time it moves completely off the East Coast. But then we're going to be dealing with the high straight line winds that are behind this system into the overnight hours and subsiding somewhere tomorrow in the morning hours. So we will have straight line wind gusts in overnight and pretty much all across the state of Florida, anywhere from 20-ish miles an hour up to 50, 55 miles an hour throughout the night, overnight, and then again they'll subside throughout the day tomorrow.
And I guess you kind of talk about your message to people to kind of prepare for any more storms overnight, especially since we are not in hurricane season right now.
Right. So it centers around being ready for the overnight hours and ultimately I think what you should do, and that is please make sure you have a way to receive alerts, whether that's on your phone, you sign up for them. You can do that at your local county. You can do that with us at the state or at our website, floridadisaster.org. But also you can have some people have a weather radio. That's a tried and true way of getting your messages and alerts. So again, have that weather radio close by, have your phone close by. Don't silence alerts because you're going to want to be notified of that stuff if it happens in the middle of the night. I think it's important for us to go ahead and state we don't anticipate having tornado warnings overnight. I don't think we'll see that. We may work